Joining us right now is Pooja Viswanathan, CEO of Brazer Mobility Inc. out of Toronto, Canada. You've flown all the way from Canada for this conference. What brought you out here?
So we actually were one of the finalists at the TieQuest Toronto competition, and part of the prize was coming over here, and then we ended up registering for TIE 50 and actually won TIE 50 as well. So we'll be getting an award later today, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk to us about Brazer Mobility. What is it that you guys do?
Yeah, so we make sensors that basically aftermarket that can be attached to any wheelchair and automatically transform it into a smart wheelchair that can automatically detect obstacles and give feedback to the driver through lights, sounds, and vibrations. And really the problem that we're trying to solve is that this kind of technology has never existed for wheelchairs. So everybody's familiar with backup sensors these days in cars that really help with preventing collisions when you're driving, especially in really tight spaces. But you think about wheelchairs where people are needing to drive or operate these devices in often very, very tight environments and often inaccessible environments. And so, property damage and safety and kind of that loss of dignity has been a really big issue. And so we're essentially solving that problem.
And so, obviously, when it comes to sensors, right, there's a lot of folks in the sensor space. What makes you guys so, what's your moat around your business?
Yeah. So, the wheelchair industry, if you look at the automotive industry, the wheelchair industry has not innovated nearly as much as the automotive industry, and there's just so many challenges in that field. One of the primary challenges being that every wheelchair is different. So cars have a lot more standardization. The wheelchair mounting industry, believe it or not, there's an industry around just wheelchair mounts, and they range from anywhere from several hundreds to several thousands of dollars. So for us, designing a product that could actually be compatible with every wheelchair in the market was one of our biggest challenges, and that's where we've really succeeded.
Now, obviously, this seems like a very specific need, and you're able to, this is not something you come to become aware of so easily. So tell us about how you got into this as a business. Why did you realize this was a problem?
Yeah, so my journey actually started over a decade ago. I had just finished my undergrad. I walked into a long-term care facility for the first time, so nursing homes, as you probably call them in the US. And so I walked in and realized that a lot of the residents over there were slumped over in manual wheelchairs. And they didn't have the strength to propel themselves in manual wheelchairs because they were elderly. A lot of them had dementia and so had declining cognitive abilities. And the reason they were not being allowed to use powered mobility was because of these cognitive deficits and visual deficits, which often happen with aging as well. And so really what I saw was a violation of a fundamental human right. And from their perspective, they're worried about safety of the residents. They're worried about everybody's safety, right, not just the person in the wheelchair. And so that had historically been the reason why there were a lot of decisions around exclusion from the use of powered mobility devices. And so that's really what brought me into it, saying, well, we shouldn't be taking devices away from people just because they're not safe enough. We should be making the devices safer. And so, it's been kind of almost full circle now, where one of the most recent success stories of our company was a long-term care facility that reached out to us saying that they had some residents who were borderline, and that they were declining, and the therapists were thinking of taking their devices away from them, their power wheelchair devices away from them, and they were able to trial our devices. And because of our products, these residents are now continuing to drive and be independent and safe, which is great for the facility.
So talk a little bit about what stage your company is in and what are you hoping to achieve here at TieCon this year?
Yeah, so we launched our beta product. So we did a closed launch essentially all of 2018, and we were very successful with that. We ended up selling in the US, Canada, and New Zealand. And so now really we're rolling out with a distribution partner, actually one of the biggest distribution companies in this space in the US. So we're hoping to roll that out by the end of the month, and really being here at TieCon is really to meet other investors, to meet other potential companies in the space, and to raise investment for our next step, which is really bringing this technology to every wheelchair out there, and also building out our data analytics platform, because now we're hoping with all of the sensors and all of the data that we're able to collect, that we can give far more insights into how people are using the chairs, what parts of the city are accessible and not, and just the list goes on, but we see huge potential in terms of what we can do.
Absolutely. So what stage of funding is your company in?
We've already raised almost $500,000 in non-dilutive funding. So that's kind of money that we've raised, and it's got us this far, and kind of the next stage we're hoping to raise another $1.5 million through investors.
And what's your timeline on that?
We're looking in the next 8 months to raise it. Yeah.
And so you have enough ramp up to get you through the next 8 months?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we're revenue generating, so we make revenue as well, which helps.
So walk us through who would be an ideal sort of investment partner for you. What are you looking for in your investment partners?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because I can say we're not really looking for a piggy bank. We have a good business and we're able to generate profits. What we're really looking for is people who connect with what we're trying to do, connect with our values and our mission, and also just strategic partnerships. So, people with an interest in IoT, big data, people with an interest in or with connections into foreign markets. So, one of the big markets we're looking to now is the Middle East. There's a lot of great accessibility work going on there, and so we're looking for investors who can potentially get us into those foreign markets. There's parts of Asia as well. I mean, we were blown away when we went to Taiwan. The level of accessibility there, and living in North America, you'd think we're way ahead, and we're not. We're actually quite behind. So looking into some of those really exciting markets for us, and helping get those trusted partners to work with over there.
Indeed. Well, we wish you all the more luck. Congratulations on your TIE 50 award.
You.
Thank you so much. That was Pooja Viswanathan, CEO of Brazer Mobility Inc., all the way from Toronto, Canada. Thank you.